mom, the mindset shifts that we're talking about today should really help. Our brains are like computers. If we ask them better questions, we're going to get better answers. So feel free to think through the prompts throughout this video, or even put pen to paper and journal or mind map it out. Let's get started. We're gonna step back for a minute and take kind of a big picture view of how we're spending our time. First of all, there are so many different opportunities in this world that we literally can't take them all on. Like, there are not enough hours in the day, okay? So it's kind of like the analogy where you're juggling a bunch of balls, and some of them are glass, which are like the important ones, right? And then some other ones are plastic, okay? We can't keep all of these balls in the air. There are just too many of them. And so we need to intentionally choose which ones we want to put down, the plastic ones, the less important ones, right? Or else we're gonna end up dropping all of the balls, including the glass ones that are gonna shatter into a million pieces, the important things. They're all going to fall if we don't intentionally prioritize which ones to put down. Similarly, when we're trying to do too many things, we can't do any of them well, right? And so we end up kind of just dropping all of them instead of like intentionally choosing what we want to put our effort towards. So I'm giving you the permission slip that really you just need to give to yourself. It doesn't come from me, it comes from yourself, to not do it all. Doing it all is impossible anyway. And so we're going to become selective about what we decide to give our time and our energy to, because both of those are finite resources. There's a concept from lean manufacturing about when we put resources towards things that don't bring value, that is considered waste, okay? And one of the big themes of lean is to eliminate waste. Since time, space, and energy are all finite resources, spending them on things that don't matter means we have less capacity for the important things that are bringing value to you and your family. You deserve a motherhood that doesn't feel like you're a chicken running around with its head cut off, okay? Unless you enjoy that chaos, and in that case, you do you. But I really want you to think about it, okay? How do you want your motherhood to feel? For me doing this exercise, I want my motherhood to feel grounded and present. I want it to be exciting and joyful, but I also want to have enough like white space to be able to feel calm and to be able to recharge if I need to. And I want to have the time to be able to engage with my kids and to be able to just enjoy their quirky little personalities as they're developing. Sometimes it can be beneficial to just pause and evaluate the things that are taking up our time, space, and energy. A couple more questions for you to consider. Is balancing all of it really worth your mental health, or are there things that you could eliminate or simplify? You deserve to feel good in your motherhood. And if you're externally motivated, think about it in terms of the impact on your kids. Your kids also deserve a mom who is not spread so thin that when any little thing goes wrong, she snaps and loses her crap. Okay, no blame here, no shame. Like, I think we've all been there, but I think we need to be mindful of how much we're taking on and how it's impacting our mental health and the relationships that we have with our kids. And the first step is to become aware of it. Where do my efforts not align with what I want for my family? What am I still doing that maybe made sense in another season, but isn't serving me or my family anymore? What does it not make sense for me to take on right now? Maybe it's not worth it to bake the cookies for the party, so you decide to go buy some instead. Or maybe baking cookies with your kids is something that brings you a lot of joy, and that's a way you make memories. And so you decide to still do that, but maybe you simplify or you outsource the decorations. Okay? Or maybe you're spending way too much time picking up toys that your kid doesn't even play with, but he just dumped out the whole bin so he could find his favorite toy at the bottom. And so you decide that maybe it's time to declutter some toys. Figure out what doesn't matter or deserve as much time and energy as you're giving it, and make changes. Small changes can have a big impact. If you've been around here for a minute, you probably already know that I love the book Essentialism. Okay, highly recommend. And in here, he talks about how if you do not prioritize the things that are important to you, other people will insert their priorities into your life. Okay, it can be hard to say no, but when you say yes without intentionally thinking about if it makes sense for you to take that on, it usually comes at the expense of your priorities or your family. Intentional no's give you the space to say yes to the things that really matter. Okay? Define what's essential and let that be enough. When you go to lay down at night, what would make it so that you can just be like, what things are gonna still matter like 5, 10 years from now? Focus your time and energy on those activities. Like, really evaluate how you're spending your time. Think about the things that you do regularly, okay? And I want you to kind of ask yourself, does this really need to be done? Okay, and if it does this really need to be done by me? Okay, and if the answer is yes to both of those, then ask, what is the simplest, easiest, most enjoyable, fastest way to accomplish it? Sometimes there really are things that just do need to get done, but sometimes there are better ways to approach and to accomplish those things. So ask yourself, what can I do right now to make everything else easier or irrelevant? Maybe you decide to declutter and to release the items that you're no longer using so that you're spending less time maintaining them day to day. Or maybe it doesn't make sense for you to spend so much time grocery shopping, so you decide to use Instacart instead. Or maybe you're having a hard time keeping up on the floors, and so you decide to invest in a robot vacuum. Side note, putting it on a schedule so that the kids all know that on Thursday nights, Robo's gonna run and you have to have all your stuff picked up is a great way to not be the villain when making kids clean up their stuff. Maybe your kids are old enough to start learning how to do their own laundry and dishes, and so you can empower your people, to borrow a lean phrase, and share the load. I really just encourage you to just kind of step back and evaluate what's taking up your time, space, and energy. Okay, because sometimes we just get so entrenched in old habits and we just keep doing things the same way, even though those systems may have been established in a different season and those habits may not be serving us anymore. So eliminate what you can and then look for ways to simplify the rest. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.